Hello. So this is Dayzie Blu You. This is my first episode of this podcast, and I just wanted to invite you to join me. I want to start by saying this podcast is not going to be built around perfection, performance, or pretending that I have it all figured out because I most certainly do not. But I will build this space around truth, curiosity, and real life, and the kind we're living, even when we don't have all the words for it yet. Um, the podcast was born out of conversations I kept having late at night over coffee and quiet moments with myself about what it really means to be a woman in this world, not just surviving it, not just pushing through it, but actually understanding it, understanding ourselves, understanding where we come from, understanding what we're carrying and what we're ready to put down and let go of. So, I want to talk in this podcast about several things, pretty much basically just life in general, but most certainly women's rights, especially the ones that they're trying to take away from us now, not as abstract ideas, but as lived experiences. Um, what it means to have autonomy over our bodies, over our choices, our time, our thoughts, our labor, our creativity, and our futures. We want to talk about the progress that we've made, the nights that we still sit and can't sleep because we're thinking about what's going on in this world, what's going on with our children, the rights we're still having under threat, and the ways women continue to organize, resist, and nurture and lead, often without recognition and almost always without rest. But I also want to talk about history, especially Indigenous history, because this is something that's come to light for me, especially over this past year, how I have uncovered the Indigenous history within my family and how sacred that is to me and what it means to me. Because history is not something that lives in textbooks anymore. We obviously know that it lives in our families, in our trauma, in our traditions, in our silence, in our resilience. And we talk honestly about the histories that have been erased, distorted, ignored, especially Indigenous history. The truth is, you can't talk about justice, identity, or liberation without talking about the original people of this land, the systems that displace them, the ongoing impact of that erasure today. These conversations won't always be easy, but they will be respectful, grounded, and necessary. This podcast is also highlighting nonprofits and grassroots organizations, the people doing the work when the cameras aren't rolling and the headlines move on. We'll talk about mutual aid, continuous care, advocacy, and what that actually looks like to serve people with dignity, not as a charity to perform, but as a service and a responsibility to one another and humanity. So, just as importantly, though, we're going to talk about life, real life, the kind that's funny and awkward and complicated, the kind that includes joy and grief and love and disappointment, healing, setbacks. We'll talk about relationships, friendships, motherhood, our chosen family, dating, heartbreak, boundaries, and just everyday life as a woman, as friends, as mothers, as daughters. And, some of the episodes are going to be deep and reflective, while others will be educational. We'll have episodes that are just light and for fun. Some days they'll feel like therapy, but we'll also be sitting on the couch together as friends and finally being able to just let it all go. So, this space has been created so we can heal and grow, and we don't have to pretend life is one dimensional. We are women, and we continuously put ourselves out there day after day, and we need to be heard, respected, and remembered. So, this is a space for you, it's a space for everybody. If you're someone who's questioning, learning, unlearning, reclaiming parts of you, reconnecting with your roots, building something meaningful, or just living life to the fullest, this is exactly where you should be. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for showing up for yourself. This is the first episode, and I hope you come back and join me for the numerous other episodes that will be airing here soon. So thank you and have a wonderful day. And I'm here to talk about it.